you tomorrow.
Woo!
Let's go. Dubs in the chat, baby. Come on.
Fever now! NC's career high, period.
Caitlin Clark, masterclass of beauty, perfection, a 45-point double, a 45-point double.
Caitlin Clark done turned up on you. Caitlin Clark put on a spectacular show. Chef's kiss versus the Seattle Storm. Oh yeah, I put on my shirt and tie because damn it, we mean business.
What's going on, everyone? If you're passionate about WNBA headlines, unforgettable basketball history, and the biggest stories surrounding today's brightest superstars, then you've come to exactly the right place. We've got an incredible story that every basketball fan is talking about right now, so don't go anywhere. Without wasting another second, let's jump straight into one of the most historic moments the WNBA has witnessed in recent memory. What you're about to hear is far more than just another WNBA statistic. This is the kind of achievement that could be remembered and talked about for many years to come. Caitlin Clark has officially become the fastest player in WNBA history to knock down 200 career three-pointers, reaching the milestone in spectacular fashion. But what makes this accomplishment even more unbelievable is not only how quickly she achieved it, but the incredible performance that came along with it. Basketball fans everywhere are still buzzing about what unfolded on the court. Make sure you stay with us because this performance was nothing short of extraordinary from beginning to end. If you're enjoying this content, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Believe it or not, more than 93% of the people watching still haven't subscribed. It's completely free, it only takes a single second, and your support genuinely helps the channel continue bringing you stories like this. So, have you subscribed yet? If you have, thank you so much for being part of the community. Now, let's get right back into today's incredible story. History was made the instant Caitlin Clark buried her milestone three-pointer. With that incredible shot, she officially became the fastest player in WNBA history to reach 200 career three-pointers. Think about that achievement for just a moment. The WNBA has featured some of the greatest long-range shooters the game has ever produced. Just when critics believed Caitlin Clark was finally beginning to slow down. Just when they thought the pressure, physical defense, injuries, and constant expectations were finally catching up with her, she answered by accomplishing something no player in WNBA history had ever achieved faster. 200 career three-pointers. Not after 5 seasons. Not after 4 seasons. Caitlin Clark reached the milestone in only 74 career games, breaking the previous record of 81 games held by WNBA legend Katie Smith. Yet somehow that historic three-point milestone wasn't even the biggest story of the night. Clark didn't simply rewrite a shooting record. She delivered one of the greatest all-around performances the WNBA has ever witnessed. 45 points, 10 assists, 4 steals, 2 blocks, 6 made three-pointers, and a dramatic 110-107 Indiana Fever victory over the Seattle Storm. It became the first game in WNBA history where a player finished with at least 40 points and 10 assists. Her 45 points also established a brand new Indiana Fever franchise record. Today we're breaking down the record, the performance, the pressure surrounding Caitlin Clark, and why reaching 200 career three-pointers this quickly represents far more than one remarkable statistic. Because whether people support her or criticize her, one truth is becoming increasingly difficult to ignore. Caitlin Clark is changing the speed at which WNBA history is being written. Before we continue, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications because moments like this deserve far more than a quick 30-second highlight. They deserve the complete story, and this remarkable story begins with a player who entered the night carrying plenty of unanswered questions. Clark had recently returned from a back injury that forced her to miss valuable time. She was still rebuilding her rhythm and gradually working her way back toward a full workload. Her previous 3 games from beyond the arc had been extremely difficult. She had connected on only 3 of her previous 19 three-point attempts, and her season percentage from deep had dropped to roughly 32% entering the Seattle matchup. 4 shooters, that kind of stretch can easily create hesitation. 1 missed shot becomes 2 missed shots. 2 misses slowly become doubt. The player begins thinking instead of reacting. She starts passing up opportunities she would normally take without hesitation. Every attempt begins feeling heavier because everyone is waiting to see whether the next one finally falls. And when you're Caitlin Clark, a shooting slump never stays just another basketball problem. It instantly becomes a national conversation. Every missed shot gets analyzed. Every decision becomes debated. Every facial expression turns into another headline. Some people wonder whether opposing defenses have finally solved her. Others question whether she's completely healthy. Some argue she attempts too many difficult shots, while others insist she should become even more aggressive. That is the unique reality of being one of the biggest names in women's basketball. Clark is rarely allowed to have an ordinary game. She is either making history or answering questions about what went wrong. But great shooters are never defined by nights when everything comes easily. They are remembered for what they do after the shots stop falling. And against Seattle, Clark didn't perform like someone searching for confidence. She played like someone who already knew the confidence had never disappeared. From the opening moments of the game, Indiana attacked with pace and purpose. Clark wasn't only hunting her own offense. She was creating opportunities for everyone around her, forcing Seattle's defense into impossible decisions. Defenders had to choose whether to step toward Clark several feet beyond the three-point line or stay attached to Indiana's cutters and shooters. Step too close and Clark attacked the open space behind them. Stay too far away and she confidently launched from distances many players would never even consider. Send another defender and passing lanes immediately opened. That's exactly what makes Clark's offensive impact so difficult to measure through points alone. A deep three-pointer changes the scoreboard. The constant threat of one changes the entire defense. And on this unforgettable night, those possibilities quickly became reality. Clark finished 11 of 18 from the field while making 6 of 10 shots from three-point range. She also attacked aggressively enough to earn 19 free throw attempts, converting 17 of them. Those numbers reveal something extremely important. This wasn't simply a player standing behind the arc waiting for open shots. Clark scored from deep, attacked defenders, created in transition, drew contact, and generated opportunities for teammates. The three-point record will earn the headlines, but her complete performance reminded everyone why she has become much more than just a shooter. She can punish defenses in several different ways, and that's exactly why reaching 200 career threes in only 74 games matters so much. Katie Smith, one of the greatest scorers in women's basketball history, previously held the record at 81 games. Breaking a record connected to a player of Smith's legendary caliber is no small accomplishment. 8 games may not seem like a massive gap until you truly understand how incredibly difficult it is to produce consistent three-point shooting at this level. Every defense knows exactly what Clark wants to do. She appears on every scouting report. Opponents spend days preparing for her incredible range. They pick her up several feet beyond the arc. They assign physical defenders to disrupt her rhythm. They fight to deny her the basketball, force her into help defenders, and make every possession physically draining. There is almost no element of surprise anymore. Clark is not reaching these historic milestones because teams underestimate her talent. She is reaching them while entire defensive game plans are specifically designed to stop those very strengths. That is what transforms an impressive statistic into a truly historic achievement. Every opponent knows exactly what is coming. Every opponent prepares for what is coming, yet Clark continues discovering ways to make it happen anyway. But the night was far from over after that milestone arrived. Indiana needed much more than another record. The Fever needed Clark to deliver once the game entered its toughest moments. Seattle refused to back down, kept applying relentless pressure, and eventually forced Indiana into a tense battle late in the fourth quarter. The Fever had controlled the game earlier, but the Storm stormed right back. Indiana suddenly found itself trailing by 8 points midway through the final period. The celebration surrounding Clark's historic record could easily have become nothing more than a footnote in a heartbreaking defeat. Instead, that incredible performance transformed into something unforgettable. Clark exploded for 16 points during the fourth quarter alone. Yet one of the biggest moments didn't even come from her shooting. With less than 1 minute remaining and the score completely tied, Seattle looked ready to score an easy fast break layup. Clark raced back at full speed. She recovered just in time and rejected the attempt, sending the basketball out of bounds. It was exactly the type of defensive effort critics rarely associate with a player celebrated for deep shooting and elite playmaking. Then only moments later, Clark buried the shot everyone will remember forever. A clutch three-pointer from the left wing. Indiana grabbed a 105-102 advantage. The Fever briefly gave it away. Clark calmly answered by knocking down 4 pressure-packed free throws during the final 17 seconds to seal the thrilling 110-107 victory. Think about that closing sequence. A hustle recovery. A game-saving block with the score tied. A go-ahead three-pointer. 4 clutch free throws under maximum pressure. That wasn't simply scoring points. That was complete command of the game. It was understanding that an unforgettable individual performance means absolutely nothing if your team walks away defeated. Clark had already reached 200 career three-pointers. She had already delivered the highest scoring game of her career. She had already rewritten WNBA history. But the final challenge was finishing the job and securing the victory. And she accomplished exactly that. This is exactly why focusing only on endless debates about popularity causes many people to overlook what is actually happening on the basketball court. Caitlin Clark entered the WNBA surrounded by extraordinary attention. That spotlight created passionate supporters, vocal critics, enormous expectations, and non-stop comparisons. Some fans celebrate every achievement as undeniable proof that she is transforming the league forever. Others immediately answer by pointing toward the legendary players who spent decades building the WNBA into what it is today. But recognizing Clark's historic beginning does not require diminishing the icons who came before her. In reality, Clark's accomplishments become even more meaningful when the game's rich history is fully respected. Katie Smith's record carried enormous importance. That is precisely why breaking it carries such significance. The players who helped build the WNBA established the standard that Clark is now chasing. Every new generation is supposed to challenge the one before it. That is exactly how sports continue evolving. Records are never insults to history. They are conversations with history. One legendary player sets an incredible benchmark. Another great player spends years trying to reach it. Then eventually someone arrives who completely changes what people believed was even possible. Clark reaching 200 career three-pointers in only 74 games does not erase anyone's legacy. It simply adds another unforgettable chapter to it. However, there is another reason this particular milestone feels so closely connected to Clark's identity. Long before she ever entered the WNBA, her unlimited shooting range had already become one of the defining trademarks of her game. She never simply attempted three-pointers from the line. She consistently stretched defenses several feet beyond it. Those shots were not only spectacular to watch, they completely changed the way defenders were forced to guard her. Traditional defensive spacing suddenly became extremely dangerous. A defender believing they were standing at a safe distance could instantly realize Clark was already comfortably inside her shooting range. That unique ability forces every defense to extend farther. Once the defense stretches outward, the entire floor begins opening up. Driving lanes become much wider. Passing angles become much clearer. Teammates receive far more space to operate effectively. That is exactly why Clark's three-point shooting and elite passing are inseparably connected. Her shooting range creates fear. That fear forces movement. And that movement creates scoring opportunities everywhere else. The record tells everyone she reached 200 career three-pointers faster than anyone before her. But it cannot fully measure how many additional baskets became possible simply because defenders were already worrying about three-pointer number 201. This remarkable performance also arrived at a crucial stage in Clark's development. Early in every career, opponents gather valuable information. They study tendencies. They learn which direction a player prefers attacking. They identify the spots where she feels most comfortable and the situations where she becomes most vulnerable. Then comes the adjustment period. The league changes its strategy. The player must answer. For Clark, that attention has been relentless from the very beginning. Physical defense, constant traps, full court pressure, changing defensive matchups, and non-stop contact have forced her to adapt faster than most young stars ever experience. Her journey has not been flawless. No young player's journey ever is. There have been turnovers, difficult shooting nights, injuries, frustration, and games where opposing defenses appeared to win the battle. But growth is never the absence of adversity. Growth is what develops because of adversity. Against Seattle, Clark displayed a version of her game that perfectly blended spectacular highlights with complete efficiency. The deep shooting was there. The elite playmaking was there. But so were the clutch free throws, relentless defensive effort, composure, and flawless late-game execution. And that may be the most frightening part for every future opponent. The player who entered the league known primarily for unlimited shooting range is now becoming increasingly comfortable controlling every single area of the game. Her head coach, Stephanie White, described the final stat line as almost unbelievable. Clark herself explained that she had already believed in and visualized a performance exactly like that long before it actually happened. This is exactly why confidence